About a month before I finished the PhD, my supervisor said, while I was telling them about my YouTube channel, why don't you record the final 2 weeks of your PhD? I think that'll be quite interesting for other students. So I was like, you know what, that is a great idea. So I did it. That's what you're gonna see today. It's not the most exciting vid in the world because it's just me working in my room and you're getting a few of my thoughts on the day-to-day, but that is what the actual experience of finishing a PhD is like. Anyway, enjoy. Generally, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about the position that I'm in that I've done the overwhelming majority of all the results. There's just like a few things I need to tidy up here and there. I think if I'd done this maybe a month or two ago, you would have seen a much more stressed out version of me, but I think I was too stressed to even contemplate doing this recording in the first place. I had a very busy Saturday where I had to redo one specific set of results, and then that had like a downstream effect on a few other things, and so I had to sort those out. It's a pretty heavy day. Didn't really get time to record, but all done now. Now I've got a Sunday where I've just come back from badminton and trying to figure out whether I should make the incredibly stupid decision of going to watch England at the pub tonight at 1 AM. This entire past 3 months has been a very intense exercise in prioritization because, you know, when you're in the first year, maybe even 2 years of the PhD, every supervisor comment you get is something that you should probably be doing because you don't have enough experience to know what's the right and the wrong way to do it. But as you build up that skill set, definitely I felt this in kind of the end of my second year, third year, and now definitely in the fourth year, you don't have to listen to everything that they say. And particularly if you have multiple supervisors, which I do, I have, you know, kind of 2 main supervisors and then 2 co-supervisors, so 4 in total. You're going to get conflicting advice from them at times, and you also, you know your story and your work better than they do. You spent, you know, weeks, months, maybe even years on a project, whereas they will see it maybe every week or every month, maybe even less frequently than that, and you have to be able to trust your own judgment. I sent them all my chapters before, gotten feedback from all of them, and at some point you just have to be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this thing, I'm not going to do that thing, I am going to do that thing. Made the very smart decision of not going to that game yesterday, and I got to bed at a somewhat reasonable time. Got up this morning, watched the full 90. What a game, what a game. I would have had a heart attack in the pub yesterday if I was there, Jesus Christ. But yeah, we won, cool. On to work. I have just ticked off loads of like little niggly tasks that I had running through different chapters, and then I've got a few bigger tasks left. I'm knocking out one of them today and this afternoon. It's about 12:15 right now. But yeah, got Claude debugging in the background, so I'm going to sort that out, and hopefully the bulk of the thesis should be done, other than the conclusion, by Wednesday. It's Monday today. That's what I'm pushing for. Having the World Cup going on is actually really nice. Like, it's quite a nice end to the day where I can actually just, you know, wrap up by like 8 or 9 and then have those final few hours where I can chill. Having something that can break up the day that is part of your routine, that's really, really helpful, I feel like, in these stressful periods. So it's Wednesday today, 34 degrees, the fans are working overtime around that you might be able to hear. But yeah, we're making it through. I had a very productive Monday and Tuesday where I got most of it done, and I've done the background and data chapter. I've done 4 of the results chapters. All I've got left is some corrections on the final results chapter, a little bit of tidy up on the intro, and then conclusion. And I've pretty much got 9 days before submission, so I think I'm actually in very good nick. Having some time now to reflect on this 5 years that I've essentially sunk into this PhD of my life, and overwhelmingly a positive decision. I think that's quite rare as well, because a lot of people, friends that I talk to on the PhD, it tends to be regret. I made that decision when I was 21 to do a PhD, right, when I was coming to the end of my bachelor's and on my master's, and the fact that I can say 5 years later that that was a good idea, that's quite a nice thing, that I knew myself well enough that that would be a good decision, because I am a big sufferer of shiny object syndrome, where I always kind of have my head turned at the next best thing. Usually that would happen for me, but I didn't feel that way about the PhD. It felt so like varied, there were so many different angles I could go to. I was very fortunate to go work at a few different organisations throughout it and get some experience in industry, in government, and now coming to the end of it, I've set a very strong foundation for the rest of my life. Yes, okay, so it's Saturday today, the day of England versus Norway, and got a fairly busy day, so I'm just out and about. I'm in quite a good position now in terms of everything is now in one document. All my chapters are in one document. All that I've got left to really do is read through it, any minor corrections, and then write up the conclusion at the end, which won't be super long. It's like 5 pages. So I've got some printed copies of my chapters here that I'm gonna, while I'm on the trains and stuff, and if I just go like chill at a cafe or whatever, just to read them. I found it's a pretty good hack for spotting typos and noticing any flaws in your story if you read it out of context. Like, you know, you spend most of your time reading stuff on your laptop, but I like printing stuff off and then going on the train or whatever and reading it there. Pretty helpful. So yeah, that's the plan for today. And I'm feeling pretty good actually. Like, it's basically done now. So it's Wednesday today. I have had a very, very busy past 3 days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was just like lock in 10-11 hour days, print off the thesis, read it in its entirety, make all the corrections, which I'm just finishing up now, and then all I have left is the conclusion, checking the appendix, acknowledgements, abstract, and then I'm done. And I've got 2 more days to submit, so I'm feeling good. I also had to make sure I did it properly because today is the England-Argentina game, semis, and I've got to be in the pub, man. Got to be in the pub. I'm not sick of my thesis just yet, but I've read over it and like the same pieces of work so many times now that I do feel like I'm going mad a little bit. You read the same thing about 5 or 6 times, like you're gonna start going a bit crazy. Well, I had a dream about doing my corrections on the metabolite stuff. It was a pretty boring dream, but it was yeah, I think I'm in quite deep right now. But okay, I've just about maintained my sanity. England to win it 3-2. We'll report back tomorrow. I had an absolutely horrible evening last night where I realised I had this bug in one of my chapters, or this issue in one of my chapters, had to go to the code, realised I'd done something wrong, made a lot of changes, or rather started making a lot of changes, then realised, oh shit, I've got to go watch this England game. So I put that on the back burner, went to the game, we screwed it up in the final few minutes, pub deflated instantly. I didn't get home at an unreasonable time, to be fair. I got home at like 12, but then I made a very stupid decision because I felt terrible. So I went and watched all like the post-match interviews and shit, and I just was like, and I went to bed upset at like 3 a.m. Got up at 9 today, was very tired, but we just smashed through all those results, sorted out that issue. It wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. Sorted out one of the other results chapters, and now all the chapters other than the conclusion are done, which I'm doing that right now. Should be done by the end of today. Then it's just tidy up the abstract, which is easy, tidy up the acknowledgements, which is easy, and then look over the references, which is easy. So today is the last proper slog, and then we're done. I can submit it tomorrow, and then yeah, freedom. So it is Saturday today, and I have just now finished the thesis at 10 p.m. Day of submission. Left it a little bit later than I wanted to, but I wasn't too stressed the past few days in that I knew I'd get it done, but it was a lot more work than I anticipated. And I've just had to put in 3 14-hour shifts, so I'm a little bit tired, but we got there in the end, and my thesis has uploaded. So let's click submit, and your thesis has been submitted for examination. Alright, cool. That's that, I suppose. 5 years. I think that went pretty well. I'm happy with the thesis, happy with the outcome, and now I can chill for a little bit. Thanks for watching.